Hiya, welcome to GGKCS, the multi-generational podcast / FlossTube for fans of all things knitting, cross-stitch, and geeky. I'm Cece, and I'm so glad you're here today. Today is Sunday, the 8th of August, 2021, and this is episode 455. I'd like to say a big welcome back. Love y'all to all returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. Hope you enjoy the show. I was just looking at the calendar a minute ago, and Dammy will be joining us in 3 weeks for our 9th Podiversary episode. So, and Dammy helped me yesterday. We picked out prizes for, we're going to be doing 9 giveaways for our 9th Podiversary. So, you can be looking forward to that at the end of August. So, but I have quite a bit of stuff to talk to you about today. I need to remember and tell you an announcement at the end. But I think we should just get started. So here we go. All right, now we're going to talk about what is on my needles in my adorable kitty bag from Little Fish Stitches. I am working on a pair of socks for myself. I don't think I had started these when I know we hadn't started these when I recorded last week because I started these on Monday. So I am working on a pair of shorty socks for me that I'm calling Fairy Lights Shorty Socks. This is my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern that you can get on our website, javapearldesigns.com. And as always, everything that we talk about in the podcast, FlossTube, is linked in our show notes at GGKCS.com. I'm using US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles. I'm using 9-inch Hiya Sharps circulars that I call zooms because you zoom around in circles. And I'm using Wish Yorkshire Spinner Signature 4-ply self-striping in the Fairy Lights colorway. And here is where I am. So I am ready. Actually, I have just done the first row of the heel on sock number 1. So this knit up really quickly, and it makes me so happy. And so I was looking back at my notes from the last time I did shorty socks for myself, and what I had done was after I completed the heel, I did 27 rows, and I did a rolled cuff. I think I'm going to do a few more rows than that this time because I am finding in some of my shorty socks that I have knit that they slip a little bit more than I would like, and that it ends up with the shoe rubbing up against my heel. So I think I am going to, I think it's just because it's smooth surface and there's no ribbing to kind of help keep it up. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to knit maybe an inch more, which would be another maybe another 10 to 12 rows. And that, I think hopefully that will give it just a little bit more and keep it from slipping down that low. So that is kind of my plan. So there's that. So I will get some knitting in on these Monday and Tuesday and potentially Wednesday, but as I'm going to talk about in Yummies, I have a virtual retreat this weekend for cross stitch, and so my focus is going to be on the pattern that came with that virtual retreat. So, but I'll talk about that more in Yummies. So that is what's on my needles, plus my preemie hat for today, which I will show you. Well, I'll tell you that announcement too at the end. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, now it's time to talk about my finished project. Here is my preemie hat from last Sunday. This is number 31 for the year. For my free top-down preemie hat pattern you can get on our website, I used US 6's 4 mil needles, and the yarn is the lighter yarn is Vitellana Ambient Worsted in the Michelangelo colorway, which I used that in one of my nephew's birthday cowls for the ribbing. And then the darker color is Knitology Glowing Worsted in the Pachyderm colorway. And I just did a color work 2-color ribbing down there at the bottom, which is always fun, just to change things up a little bit. So there we go. That's number 31 for the year, and number 32 is on the needles. And yeah, especially now with the with the Delta variant having kicked up with COVID, I think it's going to be a while before the hospital is accepting handmade donations. So I will continue to fill my bag with preemie hats. If I need to start another bag, I will do that too. And yeah, I know that when I am able to give them to the hospital, that they will be appreciated and loved. So yep, that is what I finished this week. So let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for FlossTube. All right, in my I Am No Bird and No Net Ensnares Me Jane Eyre bag from Black Needle Society, I am working on what is on the screen right now, Dreaming Girl by Barbara Anna Designs. She released a free pattern today that is epic. Epic. So that is what I'm working on. I am using Fiber on a Whim 14 count Ada in the lipstick colorway, and my needle minder is also from Black Needle Society. Okay, so here is like the big piece of fabric. Now let me fold it down so I can show you better. Okay, here we go. So this week I finished the underneath. So I got all the snow finished up all the way over. And then I did all these vines and leaves on the flowers. So underneath the hair is complete now, other than I do need to do some back stitching of like they're just like lines for like these things that are dangling. And I was waiting to do the fish until I get up here into this area, which I think has some boats and such. So since I finished down there, I jumped over here and I've started on the vines over here. So I need to do these vines. And then there are some more flowers down here that I need to do in vines. So I'm going to do, my next piece is going to be to do this whole side. And then we'll start up top. So I'm loving how this is turning out. And it's just such a fun little stitch. Not a little stitch, it's a big stitch. But, well, compared to Edinburgh Castle, it is not a big stitch. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that and continuing to make progress on it. And I will be I'll continue working on that up until Wednesday, which I'm going to tell you in the next segment. I'm going to be doing a virtual retreat, and I'm going to be working on the pattern for the retreat for when it starts Wednesday night and it runs all the way through Sunday. So that's upcoming, so stay tuned. And then in my Winnie the Pooh bag from Knit Run Dig, I am working on, I have my bag backwards. There we go. I am working on Edinburgh Castle by Terra Luna Stitchery. All the details for everything I'm using for this project are in the show notes at ggkcs.com. And here's where I am. So I finished these two blocks and then started this block. So I'm doing 25/7 stitching, where I'm stitching 25 stitches a day. Other than on Fridays, I stitch 50 so that I finish out 2 full squares. So on Friday, when I had finished the second square for the week, I was at 34,800 stitches out of 265,824 and was at 13.091% complete. And then I did 25 stitches yesterday, so I will continue to do my 25 stitches a day throughout the retreat as well, because there will be times when the stitching challenges aren't going on. So I will work on, I will get my 25 stitches a day in on this. But then the rest of my focus will be on the pattern for the retreat. So there we go. And there is some cross-stitch content in Yummies, so you should stick around. All right, let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about, Yummies. So first up, we got our monthly Knit Crate box that we are gifted. So the theme for this one is Mirage. Yeah, so here's some more of the photos that they used for inspiration. And here is the yarn. So this is Vitalana Oasis by Knit Crate. This is the Phoenix colorway. It's 50% alpaca, 25% Peruvian Highland / merino wool, and 25% Surrey alpaca. It's DK weight, 252 yards, 230 meters per 100 grams. And it's a very, very squishy soft. It's like that color pretty much in real life. But if I hold it close, you can see some of the undertones. Also what came with it is a can cozy. It says sip one, stitch one, repeat from Astric. That's cute. And then the patterns for this month, there is the Leaves and Soda shawl by Lola Logaria de Hilokun. The crochet is the Jackson shawl by Laura Algara. And then in a sock club, there's the Happy Little Tree Socks by Brenda K.B. Anderson. And the crochet is Sidelined Roan Strong Socks. Oh, Sidelined Socks by Roan Strong. So there's the patterns for this month. Let's see if there's any other information out of this I want to share. Oh, so this must have been the June box. Yes. They've had some, with the COVID, they've had some supply issues. We're still getting our boxes. Some of them are just taking a little longer. So this is the June box. The July theme is weekend. And I would love some hot pink neon yarn. We'll see what they come up with. So, Knit Crate also gives us a coupon code for y'all. Use the code, all capital letters, GEEKY20, GEEKY20, to get 20% off your first order. This code will only work to discount the first month of a recurring monthly subscription and on any of the shop items. There's a link in our show notes at ggkcs.com to get to that. Okay, next up, I got my Black Needle Society Autumn and Stars Hollow box. So this is the retreat I'm going to be attending this week. And I'm actually not going to show you everything in the box today. I did an unboxing video, and I am going to use that for my podcast FlossTube episode next week, because I'll be in the midst of the retreat when I would normally be recording. I might add on a few little clips of me working on the pattern, but we'll see. But yeah, so that it's not going to be a normal episode next week. It's going to be the unboxing and potentially some little clips from the retreat. But this is the little pamphlet, and it came with lots of lovely items. If you haven't you should have seen the pattern by now because they released it in the group. So if you don't want to see what the pattern is, look away. Okay, so this is the autumn pattern. And what is going to happen is they're going to do a retreat for all 4 seasons. And so these patterns are going to line up across the fabric if you choose to do it that way, or you could also do it separately. So autumn is number 3 in the lineup. Next to it will be winter, and then on this side will be summer and spring. And the pattern is 95 by 95. So connecting all 4 of them will make it 380 across and 95 tall. And I bought my fabric and flosses. I need to finish because I do my flosses onto cardstock to make them hang like fancy flosses. So I've got about a half a dozen more I need to do, but Dammy needs to help me get down my paper cutter and cardstock, which is up on top of my craft cabinet. So I need to finish that up to get ready, but there's lots of lovely, lovely things in this box, and I can't wait to show you in next week's episode. So that is fun. And then the last thing I got, which the card actually fell down into this box. Give me a second here to get it out. There's another card. Come on. Oh, it's stuck. Hold on. Hold that thought. I'm getting it. There we go. Oh, I guess I didn't need that because it just tells me the instructions. So I got a lovely parcel from Kay Johnson 21 on Instagram. She had told me she was sending me something, and I was like, oh my gosh. So it came from LME Creations, and they are LME Creations on the social medias as well, with a sweet little note to say thank you for supporting a small business. And then we got instructions. Okay, you ready for this? Look at this tumbler. Okay, so the first quote is, "A day without a friend is like a pot without a single drop of honey left inside." And we have the beehive. We have Tigger down here on the bottom. As we rotate it, we have Pooh Bear with the balloon trying to get to the hive. And then we have Eeyore. And we have Piglet up here in the tree. And then as you turn it, the other quote is, "Sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart." And with Pooh Bear with his balloon and his honey. This thing is stunning. Dammy checked it for me, and it holds 18 ounces. And it came with the lid and the straw. And I absolutely adore it. It's so lovely. For those that don't know, I am a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. When I got pregnant with Dammy, we had to do their nursery in Winnie the Pooh because I had so much Winnie the Pooh stuff we didn't have anywhere else to put it. So Dammy got a Winnie the Pooh nursery. I don't have as much Winnie the Pooh stuff anymore as I used to have, but I do have a few special little things, and Pooh Bear always will hold a special place in my heart. I just adore. And so this blew my mind. So it's a hand wash only. So it's not dishwasher or microwave safe. But I don't know how they get this wrap on there, but like you can't feel a seam. Like the seams, there's no seam. So I don't know how they did it, but it's magical. And I love it so very much. So thank you so much. I've already sent a private thank you, but yeah. She was like, "You have my permission to say it was me." So, so there we go. It's just lovely. And I adore it. And I've been using it. So, all right. I think that is everything for Yummies. So we're going to move on to the next segment. Now it's time for what we're reading, watching, and listening to. Just a reminder about our ongoing RAL read-along. It's a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day. 25/7 stitching, 15 minutes reading. It's a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day every day. I don't care what you're reading, as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. By participating in the seasonal, which there's Finish Line in the Facebook group, you earn entries into the year-long challenge. At the beginning of 2022, we will draw for 3 grand prize winners. And yeah, so all the details and everything are in the show notes and in the Facebook group. Okay, what I have been reading. Continuing to read The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body and the Healing of Trauma by Bessel van der Kolk. I'm reading that as part of my counseling. I am reading the August book for the Unashamed Love Collective, a community for LGBTQ plus people and allies. And this month we are reading Does Jesus Really Love Me? A Gay Christian's Pilgrimage in Search of God in America by Jeff Chu. This has been a tough one to read. Very, very tough. Especially as I think about the fact that this book was written like 7 years ago and so little has changed. So it breaks my heart. So I know we'll have some really good discussion on this in our book club at Zoom at the end of the month. And then fiction-wise, I finished reading Better Than People by Rowan Parrish. This is a male-male romance, not safe for children. It was okay. And then I picked up and read all of Marilla of Green Gables by Sarah McCoy. And this is a prequel to Anne of Green Gables. And it is about Marilla Cuthbert and Matthew, and her growing up and getting to the point, not quite to the point, but very close to the point of when Anne entered their lives. And it was beautiful. I felt like I was reading Lucy Maud Montgomery's writing. I really, really enjoyed it. And, there was so little that Lucy Maud Montgomery had put in the Anne books that talked about Marilla and Matthew's past. There was very, very little. But I felt that the history that Sarah, the author, came up with was very plausible, and it felt very true to how Matthew and Marilla behaved and interacted with Anne when she came into their lives. And it helped make sense of some things that that happened in Anne's life once she moves to Green Gables. So I felt it was very, very well done, and I really, really enjoyed reading it. You could tell she had done her research, and she talks about that at the end, about all the research that she did to be able to write this. I am currently listening to Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. This is a LGBTQ YA book set in, I believe it's in LA. It's in California, and it's about, the main character is has just graduated from high school, and is there ends up being this mystery and something that she finds as she is purchasing things to as part of the art department on a film. And so there's this mystery. So I'm enjoying listening to that. And then I just started reading last night book number 2 in the Will Darling Adventures by K.J. Charles. It's called The Sugared Game, Not Safe for Children. It is a male-male romance. And yeah, I talked about book 1 last week before, but I just barely started it last night. And then continuing to rewatch episodes of Law and Order SVU for the That's Messed Up in SVU podcast, Not Safe for Children. Rewatching season 1 of Gilmore Girls with the I Am All In with Scott Patterson podcast, and loving that. We're still watching season 1 of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I feel like I have to take it in spurts because it's very dark and very horror-esque. A coworker of mine suggested that Dammy and I might enjoy this reality series on Netflix called Glow Up. And it is a makeup reality series. And I think some of our favorites to watch are the episodes when they do makeup for the theater, for the stage. They did one episode where they were doing makeup for Kinky Boots, and then for The Lion King on stage. But it's set in the UK, and Dammy and I have actually binged through seasons 1 and 2. And season 3 just came out recently, so we're excited to watch that. And then I finished watching the Unorthodox miniseries that I mentioned I started last week, based on a true story of a woman who is forced to marry in the Orthodox Jewish faith, ultra-Orthodox Jewish faith, and she leaves her husband and starts to build her own life in Berlin. And it was very well done, and especially after having read Becoming Eve, I think is what it was called, last month for my book club. And then having the book club Zoom and talking with the author, so having that experience and then watching this, it was very, very interesting. And then I don't know if y'all remember, I don't know how many years ago this was, but there was a TV show on called Leverage, and it was about this group of thieves. And a lot of what they did was like to get revenge on bad businesses or organizations or whatever, or, it feels kind of like the Robin Hood-esque, type thing. Well, IMDb did a revival with many of the same characters, not all of them, and it's called Leverage Redemption. And so I watched quite a few episodes of it. What day was that? I think it was Wednesday while I was working remotely, because I like to have noise on in the background. So I put that on and watched quite a few of the episodes of that. And then listening to, as I've already mentioned, some of the podcasts I've been listening to, but also My Favorite Murder and many others. Glennon Doyle's podcast this week was so good. Not a subject that is not safe for children, but very, very well done. And I love that they've added a second episode every week. So that's a lot of fun. And then random Spotify playlists. And that is what I have been reading, watching, and listening to this week. All right, let's move on to the next segment. That's where we're moving. All right. And now it's time for the June, July, August summertime, and the living is easy. Ow. This is a challenge for you for any project that you knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew that you can convince us relates to summer. The fallback is always you made it in the summer. And the projects have to be begun June 1st or later and finished by August 31st. All the details are in the show notes, as well as in the Facebook group, as well as I talked about everything in detail, including all of the prizes in last week's episode, the first podcast of every month. But I would like to give a shout out to people who finished projects this week, and they are Brittany M., Jane S., and Sarah G. Great job, everyone. You have about 3-ish weeks to finish your projects and get them posted, and you might be a winner. So get those projects done and posted, and we will announce the prize winners the first podcast of September. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, now it's time for Ask the Geeks, the part of the show where you ask us things and we try to answer them. This question was originally asked and answered in 2018, and it is from Rebecca. And Rebecca says, I am researching old podcasts. In episode 19, that was a lot of podcasts ago, you talked about the word create for your word of the year. Goal was to knit enough socks that you would not have to wear store-bought. Have you accomplished this? May we have a virtual tour of your sock drawer, LOL. How many socks have you knit in your lifetime? Do you wear store socks? What are your favorite shoes for handmade socks? That's a lot of questions. Okay, I'm going to give you a virtual tour of my sock drawer right now. All right, welcome to my sock drawer. So lined up here, these are my my tall socks, and I have a lot of them. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And there's a pair back here somewhere that are tall, 26 pair. There they are. These are my knee highs, my neon knee highs. My sock drawer grew exponentially when we did our sample sale, and I kept a bunch of the sample socks. So, and then over here are my shorty socks, which these are the ones that I need to increase. I think I lied. So I'm filming this after the fact. I did lie, and I do have a few pair of store-bought socks, more than I thought, because I got pumpkin spice and crafting and nerdy cats. These are arm warmers. These are fingerless gloves. And then I do have some store-bought shorty socks. There's Winnie the Pooh and such. But as soon as it gets cooler, I will be wearing these every day. And then right now in the summer, I'm wearing these, and as well as the store-bought ones, just because I run out before I'm ready to wash them. But there is my sock drawer. Okay, so that was my sock drawer. I need more shorty socks, which I'm working on a pair right now. I do still, at this point, I wear a mix of store-bought for shorty socks because I don't have enough shorty socks that I've knit. And some of them are very cute, like with Winnie the Pooh characters and cats on them. Other than that, I don't know. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 pairs of taller store-bought socks, but those are ones that are were specifically themed something. It's not just a pair of socks. How many socks have I knit in my lifetime? I did not even look this up. Let's see if I can find a quick total. It's a lot. I have knit a lot of pairs of socks, and this is coming from someone who was like, I will never knit socks. And that was a big, big lie. Okay. When I left Ravelry, I had knit 192 pairs of socks. So what we need to do is jump into how I'm tracking my projects now. So let's see. Oops, it didn't open. Hold that thought moment. I should have opened this ahead of time. I apologize. Okay. So that makes 193, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. At the end of 2020, 198, 99, 200, 201, 202, 203, 203 pairs, and I have number 204 on the needles right now. That's a lot of socks. And not all of them were for me. So that is a lot of socks that I have knit. Socks are my go-to. It is rare that I don't have socks on the needles. My favorite shoes for handmade socks, I mean, I feel like I went through a phase where it was like, oh, I need shoes that like show them off. Now I just wear what's comfortable. I have a pair of Vans that have rainbow color on them that I bought as a gift for myself when I came out publicly. I have a couple of pairs of like Mary Jane-ish style shoes like that I wear sometimes to work that I wear them with. The shoes that I do not like wearing hand knit socks with are Allbirds. And it is because the Allbirds that I have, they have several different kinds, but I have Allbirds that are made out of wool and the inside of them is wool. And when I wear hand knit socks, the wool rubs against each other and the socks slip down. So when I wear my Allbirds, I typically don't wear socks, or I will wear store-bought socks. But that's just a particular issue with that shoe just because of what it's made out of. So, but I adore socks, even though I swore I will never knit a pair of socks. I don't understand why you would spend as much money on one skein of yarn for a pair of socks as you would for buying a package of socks at the store. When you wear a pair of handmade socks, it's very, very difficult to go back. So I do adore my hand knit socks, and I love wearing them. And I love gifting them. And as I've talked about before, my bestie's youngest son, Izzy, short for Isaac, coined the term CC socks for any socks that I knit for people. So my socks that I give away are affectionately named CC socks. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for Rebecca for that question. If you have a question for us, you can post it in the Ask the Geeks thread in the Facebook group, or in the comments below any of the YouTube videos, and then I'll add them over onto the list. Okay, let's move on to the next segment. Well, with that, we've made it to the end of the show. Yay. Thanks so much for joining me. Okay, so just a reminder, if you missed it when I talked about it earlier, next week's episode won't be a traditional episode. It is going to be the unboxing of my Autumn and Stars Hollow box, because I will be at that retreat, that virtual retreat this weekend with the Black Needle Society. And if I can, I will add in little clips at the end of like progress I've made as each day goes of working on the pattern that I showed you earlier. So hopefully that will work out and I can make that happen, but it will be a different episode than normal. So when I pick back up 2 weeks from today, I will talk about I'll have 2 preemie hats that I finished and such like that. So I'll be playing a little bit of catch up, but that's fine. And then 3 weeks from today, Dammy and I will be recording the 9th Podiversary episode with the special 9 giveaways both for yarn enthusiasts as well as cross stitch enthusiasts. And how we will be doing it is we will be doing it on in our YouTube comments, and we will have keywords for each of the 9 prizes. And so by and you can enter all 9 of them. That's totally fine. But you'll use the keywords in there, and then we use the random YouTube comment picker. And I'll put in the video link, and then I will put in the keyword, and let it randomly pick a person that used that keyword. And that's how we'll do for all 9 of the prizes. So watch for that coming up at the end of August. A reminder that we continue to be co-hosts for the Pride Along. It started in May and it runs through the end of June 2022. There is in the show notes at ggkcs.com, there is a link to a YouTube video about the Along and how you can enter. Our hashtag is hashtag GGKCS Pride Along 2122. I think that's the only announcements. Yeah. So, we'd like to say a huge thank you. I'm finishing this row. Love y'all, to all of our supporters, and community. You know, even if you are, all you ever do is watch, you are still a supporter and you are still part of our community. But an especially big thank you to those of you who support us financially. That money goes towards mostly shipping of prizes, but as well technology behind the scenes. And sometimes we need to purchase a prize or something like that, or purchase like mailer bags to ship out prizes and such like that. So if you would like to support the podcast financially, there's a few ways you can do that. Patreon and YouTube Join are both programs where you can pledge a certain amount a month to support your favorite creatives and earn rewards or perks based on the level you donate at. I did Patreon rewards yesterday, so if you were expecting a reward, it went out yesterday. If you would like to know more or would like to sign up, you can go to patreon.com/ggkcs, or on YouTube, underneath every YouTube video is a join button. If you'd like to make a one-time donation, we have a PayPal button in the sidebar of our show notes. We are bookshop.org affiliates. That site has a mission to financially support local independent bookstores, and especially during the COVID, they definitely need our continued support. So if you purchase a book from our shop, we earn a commission, and then the local independent bookstores also earn money from the purchase. Our shop is at bookshop.org/shop/GGKCS, and every week I make a bookshelf with all the books that are available on the site that we talk about in that week's episode. And we are amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you shop on Amazon, if you go to our website first, click on the appropriate link, and then do your shopping as normal, we earn a little bit of money based on what you purchase, and it doesn't cost you anything extra to be doing something you were going to be doing anyway. You can find us online at ggkcs.com. There you will find links to everywhere else we are online. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, our Facebook group. If you need to know the answers to the Facebook group questions, one of the questions is about our cat's name, Pink Pearl, or Pink, either way, who is sleeping on my bed right now. Who's the mama? Cece. What's the third question? The rules. Is that the third question is the rules? Okay. Jamie says yes. And there's a password embedded in the rules that you need to put in the question that asks that. If you honestly can't remember the answers, just tell us that, and I'll let you in. So we're trying to keep out spammers is what we're doing. So, yeah. And everywhere else we're online, you can find there at GGKCS. Well, with that, I'm going to tell you goodbye. I hope you have a lovely week ahead. I am very much looking forward to my days off. When I started this job, my first thing when I was able to ask for time off was to ask for time off for this retreat because, yeah, I'm very excited about it. So I'm very excited for my time off and for my virtual retreat this week. As you are probably aware, the Delta variant is causing a lot of problems. I have a friend whose entire family is ill, and her father had to be life flighted because of COVID. And so I just want to encourage you to make sure that you have gotten your vaccine, and please wear your masks. Even if you're vaccinated, they are telling us we need to be wearing our masks. So please, please, please do that. If not for yourself, then for the people around you. Let's show love. Let's show love. Let's show compassion. Let's show that we care about each other. Alrighty. Well, until I see you again in the unboxing video next week, I hope you have a lovely week. Happy crafting, and I'll talk to you again soon. Pink, what do you have? Are you getting a treat? Oh, you got it on your face. There's some on this side too.
There's more on the other side.
This is the first time Pink has ever had a meat tube. Oh, yummy.
Eat that.
Okay, more yummy, more yummy. More yummy. Oh, yum. Oh, I like this stuff, yummy. I think we have a winner for an occasional treat.